No, I'll run this town to be near you. I stand alone.
Shelley Winter in for Mark Aram. Big story going on. It's really shameful what's happening. Vinny, I have his name. We could just put him on hold. I'll go right to him. State Senator Drew Echols is on with us. I'll go right to him. Yeah, I'll explain the story. So Gainesville got into a fight with Brunswick High School, I believe it was Brunswick, and they got into a big fight. It was 42-0. They got into a big fight, big brawl, and the Georgia High School Association, High School Sports Association, they knocked about 30. Oh man. They put about 30 plus suspensions to the Gainesville players. Gainesville High School, they went to a court, tried to seek an injunction. The judge gave them an injunction, and these players were going to be allowed to play. And then Gainesville High School, to their credit, punished 4 or 5 of the players that really were egregious in this brawl.
So it was a football game, and they just started fighting each other?
It's 42-0 in the third quarter,
right.
And there was a big brawl broke out. The Brunswick player snatched the helmets off of 2 Gainesville players because they were losing and punched one of them, and then a brawl broke out. And so last news that broke, Gainesville was going to be able to play most of their players. Gainesville then suspended 3 or 4 players. As of yesterday, the Georgia High School Sports Association went to another hearing and they decided they're going to suspend the games. The games won't play. They're supposed to play tonight in the quarterfinals. So I went to State Senator Drew Echols. Drew Echols, how are you, State Senator?
Good morning. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Shelley.
Yes, sir. I hope you did also. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So, Drew Echols, Gainesville High School, Gainesville High is in your district. Tell us what the feeling is that's going on up there.
Well, we feel like our guys didn't get treated very fairly. I mean, you know, you hear a lot on social media, all the social justice warriors out there that rules are rules. But I'll tell you what, punishment's punishment also, and those 2 punishments were not handed down equally at all. I mean, if one team's getting punished next year and the other team's getting punished this year, I don't know, man. It makes no sense to me. But,
absolutely.
You know, that's just the starting of it. But go ahead.
No, you finish.
Well, also, you know, you've got, like you mentioned, leading up to the question, you got comes into play the question of self-defense, right? And GHSA, in their rules, it doesn't mention self-defense at all. But it also, they're not responsible when somebody gets hurt out there not defending themselves. So, I don't think you can have it both ways, really. And I understand if we get into this, the next thing you know, we'll be having instant replay and maybe even TV timeouts in high school sports. And I'm not so convinced that that's necessary. But, I mean, let's just be real here and what's right for these guys, what's right for the whole entire bracket. Langston Hughes, it's not fair to them to have to be sitting here waiting, scratching their head. They're a very good football team, and they want to play a good football team.
So what happens next? The game is not going to be played this afternoon or this evening. Gainesville versus Langston Hughes. By the way, to your point, Langston Hughes is a top 1 school in the state in the biggest classification, 5A. Right? Is 5A? Is there a 6A?
Oh, yeah. There is a 6A. There's a bigger classification.
Okay, so they're 5A.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Right,
Yep.
So 5A, and so Gainesville doesn't get to play Langston Hughes. What happens to that game? What happens to these 2 teams going forward? Because we're not going to have a court case this afternoon.
Well, I think, we're postponed right now, and I suspect they're going to rule something. They said they're going to rule something by Tuesday. Personally, I figure what they're trying to do right now, what GHSA is trying to do right now is get this egg off their face. A judge ruled, and they sort of overruled the judge. They postponed the game, and I think they're trying to figure it out right now. They got embarrassed, and we'll see.
But why do you
Again,
think
it's
they
not fair to
doubled
any of
down?
these teams.
Why do you think they doubled down? The judge, approved the injunction. The game was going to be played, and then they go back to postpone the game. Why do you think they did that?
Well, look, man, I listen to you a lot, Shelley, and you're a common sense guy, and you talk about when these basically GHSA is not much more than a bureaucratic-run organization, and they're not held accountable by anybody. So, giving them a little bit too much power, like we do a lot of other boards and things. And I don't think our state senate or state legislature ought to spend 4 months of the taxpayers' time going and making a rule book for high school sports. But I think we need to get it into some hands that are a little bit more competent than GHSA.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And to me, for Gainesville, I know that Gainesville High is in your district, but to me, the kids that are being punished, the worst of all of this is Langston Hughes, who had nothing to do with the brawl.
Absolutely, and they're sitting there in limbo, and they don't even know what it's going to look like going forward. I mean, they could be playing a short schedule in the playoff season. I mean, how is that fair to the whole entire bracket? Like I said earlier.
And these are just quarterfinals, so it's not like we only have 4 teams left if it was the semis or the finals with 2 teams. This is the quarterfinals. There's a bunch of teams sitting around that's going to have to wait and see.
That's right. So we'll, fingers crossed, and hopefully GHSA can come to their senses by Tuesday, and let's get this thing played and find a winner for. And it's amazing if you look on social media, and I get it, social media is kind of the devil these days, but, man, people all over the state of Georgia are supportive of these kids, and that's ultimately what it's about. It's not about the superintendent. It's not about the coach. It's not about their state senator. It's about these guys that have worked, and, 3 or 4 of them absolutely deserve to be benched. But by and large, they were defending their teammates, what can you say?
Absolutely. State Senator Drew Echols, we appreciate you calling in the last minute. Have a wonderful rest of your holiday weekend, you and your family, and keep up the good work out there in your district. God bless you.
Yes, sir. You too.
We have reached out to him. Go ahead. I agree with him. Longoria, you played football, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So you're playing football, you're on the sidelines, helmets off. Maybe you play defense. The offensive is on the field.
I did play defense.
Right. So the offense is on the field. You're on the sidelines with your helmet off. And one of your offensive players gets his helmet ripped off, and the guy starts going ham on him. The whole bench is clearing.
Yeah.
Rules.
We're sticking up for the guy.
Of course. You've been doing up downs with this guy since 90 degrees in the summer. This is your guy.
Yeah.
And so you can't tell you can't even tell adults not to do that. In the NFL, they still do it. In baseball, pitcher hits a ball player, there's a benches clearing brawl in baseball. These are grown men with $1 million contracts, knowing they're going to get fined. So how do you expect it to happen to high school kids? It's just this whole thing and like State Senator Echols said, it reeks of a board just overstepping their bounds, doing too much. As the kids say, oh, you're doing too much. And that's really what this whole situation is for me. The Georgia high school, you guys just need to stand down. Let these kids play. The judge has already ruled. Let them play tonight. I know it's too late, but this is just crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, as you